So it's Friday. I just got home from work and look what was at my doorstep. It is the package that I've been waiting for. This book released on February 18th and it is currently February 21st. So thank you, Indigo. I got it a few days late. Today was a really rough day at work. I struggled. Come here, being yelled at by the cat. Oh, by the way, I got a cat and I kind of just want to sit back, take the weekend and read. I'm currently 50% of the way through the Ministry of Time. I don't know if I'll finish that before Rebel Witch or if I'll read them together or finish Ministry of Time before I read Rebel Witch. That's kind of what the forecast is for the weekend. Reading. Welcome home.
Why is the car here?
Because I had a nail appointment. Got my nails done. Just wanted something really regular after my Valentine's nails, so got that done. So I'm approximately 62% of the way through Ministry of Time. Here are my thoughts. I don't want to spoil it for you, so I'm going to try really hard to skip the spoilery stuff. So Ministry of Time is about a woman that works for a company that deals with time travel, and she gets paired up with someone from the year 1847, and it is her job to live with, assist, and monitor this person just to make sure that they've survived time travel, that they don't fall apart, to monitor that they are mentally stable, and then to eventually see if they can assimilate into the current era. She gets comfortable with this person. She learns about the other time travelers. She is navigating life as this person's bridge, as they call it. At around little over 50%, I think the plot starts to thicken. She starts to experience a traumatic event and is learning how to cope through that. And I think that her person, I don't know the word for it, but anyways, she has to learn how to live with this person while dealing with her own mental health issues. It's a really good book. All the blue markers are kind of the parts that I thought were funny. Started off really strong. The middle it's kind of boring. It feels like the book is a journal entry or a diary or something that's being documented post events in this book. So I'll be curious to find out what exactly we're reading. She's already made mention of something in the book that's making me a little scared of how it's going to end, referring to someone in the past tense. So that's a little stressful. If I was to rate this book right now, I would give it probably almost a solid 3.5 out of 5. Again, it started out really funny. There's some humor throughout. The purple and the pink are kind of the quotable moments, or the parts where I was kind of obsessed with what was happening, and there's not a lot of those. There's only a few. It's a rather short book. I think it's only 300 and something pages, so it should essentially be a quick read. I started it 2 days ago, and I'm trying to finish it now before I pick up 𝖒𝖉𝖉𝖎𝖆. A little under 40% to go. I've made it this far, so I probably will finish it before moving on. But if you're into time traveling, humor, it feels like an easy read, like a light read. If you're not triggered by death, if you're not triggered by racism, our main character is experiencing some racism, and she reflects on times where she's experienced it, or sometimes where it happens in present tense. But I wouldn't say that it makes it uncomfortable to read. It's almost as if it's brought up in passing and not so much focused on it, but there's a lot of talk about her race and her culture and her upbringing that to be considered. But overall, it's a fun read. I will be glad that I read it. This book was given to me, so I didn't spend any money on it, so that's a plus also. Just not super crazy about it, but we'll finish it. dishes so she'll stop getting food on our floor. This is one of those litter pads to trap the litter when she walks out of the litter box.
Oh.
I surprisingly don't have a sketchbook, so I bought a thicker paper sketchbook. That was from Dollarama. I found some plain mugs that I can vinyl on, and I already know some things that I want to make. You have 2 dishes now, one for dry and one for wet. I got 3 different colors. Those were only $2 a piece. And then we went to the thrift store and we found lots of goodies. Jeans for her. This cozy sweater for a new spring coat. Columbia for her. Daddy, we found you a cool pullover. We thought you might think it's comfy. And then we also bought Dad a spring coat from Levi's, because Daddy doesn't have a spring coat. It's got a little bit of a bomber jacket feel. I like that. And then we got some really lightweight spring summer pullovers. Oh, they're not pullovers, they're full zips. And that had another one, cutie little spring zip. And then they had a 4X oversized hoodie for Mom. And then I found these paints, and they are summer acrylic, summer oil, but I really wanted the watercolors that were in here. So a mixture of both. This was Dollar Tree. I got you erasers because you didn't have any. I got you your own stapler so you'll stop using mine. We found cool food coloring, a neon blue and a neon purple. Wanted some cozy socks, Easter sprinkles, and then a spritz bottle so I can stamp all my books. That's the haul. I'm really excited about this stuff. I love finding like nice branded clothes for like $3. I just finished The Ministry of Time, and here are my thoughts. This book was good. I liked it. It was kind of a take on something that I've never read about before. Time travel, crossing timelines, past meets future, learning new eras, falling in love. Well, all my books that I read are about falling in love. Anyways, what I'm saying is this book is much different than any of the books I've read before. It's a good book. I had fun. There's humor. There's a few spice scenes, but I don't know if it's super memorable. Like, compare the tabs to something like Onyx Storm. Like, there's a lot there, right? I've recently started tabbing my books. The past maybe 4 or 5 books I've started tabbing. And I'm glad that I do it because, first of all, it's a great visual representation of, did you enjoy the book? What did you like about it? When did you like it? Whereas something like this is pretty lackluster. And when you put these books side by side, it's like, okay, which one did you like better? Right? It's simple. It's simple to see. So, The Ministry of Time, great book. Had fun. Glad I read it. Glad that it was nice and fresh and different than a lot of the other fantasy books that I read. This was giving more sci-fi, right? Like some more realistic things happening here. The love and romance was, you know, you wanted it to happen, but this book just didn't contain a lot of it. And I'm learning as I navigate through this reading journey, I'm learning, you know, what I like. And I think I really like romantasy. But sometimes you just have to change it up, right? Sometimes I just like to, you know, go off the path and read something new and different and fresh. And I'm glad that I did. I would rate Ministry of Time probably 3 out of 5 stars. This is very comparable. Like my feelings about it are very comparable to Assistant to the Villain, which I just read like a month ago. And I would say it's kind of like in the same realm as that. Like I had fun, not too memorable, nothing to really highlight, but it was a good time. So I'm glad I did it. I think that's now book 12 out of 60. 60 is the goal for 2025. So we are making good time. So with that being said, that means we are ready for Rebel Witch. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited to jump back in and learn about Rune and see what happens with Gideon. So excited. We're driving. We're getting ready to go to the Humane Society. I've signed up to do the good night chores for the dogs. So this is my last night like training. So I'm gonna go, I'm gonna learn what I need to do. That's so tomorrow I can do it on my own. Today's the day that we start Rebel Witch. I need to get this done in about 4 days, maybe 5 days. No, 4 days. I think I'll be able to because book dimensions are small. The thickness is a little bigger than Heartless Hunter, Crimson Moth, and the margins are always like, the words are big and the margins are kind of large. So based off of my past reading history, I should be able to finish this rather quickly. What does it say? A witch. Rune Winters is on the run ever since the boy she loved, Gideon Sharp, revealed her true identity and delivered her into enemy hands. Everyone wants her dead. If Rune hopes to survive, she must ally herself with the cruel and dangerous Cressedia. I always said Cressedia in my head, but it's not. It's Cressida Roseblood, who's planning to take back the Republic and reinstate a reign of witches, something Cressida needs Rune to accomplish. A witch hunter. Apparently it wasn't enough for Rune to deceive Gideon. She's now betrayed him by joining forces with the witch who made his life a living hell. But Gideon won't allow the Republic to fall to the witches and be plunged back into the nightmares of the past. In order to protect his new world he fought for, every last witch must die, especially Rune Winters. An impossible choice. When Rune makes Gideon an offer he can't refuse, the two must pair up to accomplish dangerous goals. They're gonna partner up. The more they're forced into each other's company, the more Gideon realizes the feelings he had for Rune aren't as dead and buried as he thought. Now he's faced with a terrible choice. Sacrifice the girl he loves to stop a monster taking back power, or let Rune live and watch the world he fought so hard for burn. So they weren't in love before. I think this is what they call a close proximity trope. Like they're forced to, you know, work together, partner up, and then they eventually fall in love again. I don't like the ending where he has to choose. Gideon's gonna have to choose Rune or like the world he is fighting for. We'll see if I'm emotionally ready for this because I've not seen spoilers online, but I have seen like people say like whoa, like the duology is whoa. So yeah, like, let's just get started. I just remembered and forgot. I just realized that the book is actually starting with a Gideon POV. I don't think that was true in the first book. And second of all, I just remembered I don't have my tabs. So I'm gonna have to go get those. Before I get started, I don't think I talked about this. So I ordered on Amazon a bunch of different colored tabs. I picked like a huge variety pack with a whole bunch of different colors because in my delusional mind, I wanted to match the colors of my tabs to the color of the book covers. The idea was fantastic. However, a problem that I'm running into is with this one in particular. This is the one that I used for Assistant to the Villain. The colors are too similar. So you notice these two are really similar at the bottom. These two pinks are very similar, and then we had like two purples. We had a light purple. Oh, Legend. That's what I use these for. The two purples, they look different this way, but then when you peeled them apart, they looked very similar. So as cute as they are, the shades of some of the same colors are kind of impractical. And so when I was annotating Ministry of Time, I used these ones because they were very clearly orange, pink, red, pale green, a green, a turquoise, a blue, and a dark blue. So this was way more practical. This is cute. Again, the aesthetics are there, but like it's not very practical. But for Rebel Witch, I am thinking something dark and moody with some blues. Now, I will say this one's gonna be more difficult than this one. I can already tell. Actually, look, all three of those greens. Are you kidding me? They're all the same. This blue, ooh, great idea. But how do we differentiate? Like dark blue, middle blue, lightest blue, lighter blue? Like that would drive me insane. So sorry, that one's out. We can also combine. So like obviously we need some from here, some from here, some from here. My brain is not big enough for that. We're gonna stick to Rebel Witch isn't really giving the greens here, so that one's out. So we're going with the semi-difficult one, but as long as there's like pink, gold, mauve, maroon, and then maybe skip these two because they're really similar. Dark green, gray, blue. I think that's enough variety for me. So I'm already like, wait, what? Gideon tugged at the jacket of his stolen uniform? Why is he stealing a uniform? Is he not part of the guard anymore? Is already starting off like on edge. It's already like fully at 100%. I don't want to spoil anything, so I can't talk about it. If I will spoil it, I'm gonna put it in the video that they're spoilers, so don't worry, I won't just blurt out spoilery information to you. But yeah, this one's already, we're just like diving headfirst into the story. I have questions. I hope that in the next chapter or two, we will be caught up as to what's going on. It is Sunday night. I didn't do as much reading as I would have liked to yet. So far, I spent the entire morning until 2 p.m. doing laundry and editing the first 2 days of this vlog. This is how I stay on top of a vlog and release it in a timely manner. Also, let me just address the elephant in the room. Yes, my bangs are banging, and that's because I just took my rollers out. Hopefully they'll fall soon. Anyways, did not do as much reading as I would like. I think I'm only on chapter 3 of Rebel Witch. It's already started out with like a bang. I think I talked about it earlier. So far, so good. We made dinner. We made some chicken Alfredo with vegetables. Still doing laundry currently, but I think I'm on the last like two loads. So that should be done soon. I was gonna take this time to do like my nightly routine now because I do have to go and volunteer at the Humane Society tonight, and I get back late at like 10 p.m. so I'm wondering like, should I do my nightly routine and do like all the things that I want to do now and then go volunteer and then come home at 10 and just kind of like lay in bed and rot, or do I use that time like 10 to 11:30 to do my nightly stuff? I did try rollers for the first time in my hair. The verdict so far is I love them. I only used water, some mousse, the rollers, and my hair dryer. But I've seen people on TikTok do like, they curl their hair up and then they put the roller in so that it cools while it's up in the roller. So I think I'll try that tomorrow too if these end up falling flat. But right now they are just voluminous, like bangs are banging. And I'm really excited. I'm glad I got these rollers. This is behind the scenes of a webinar. As you can see, there's cables, lights, and these are the secrets that they don't want you to know. We're running power from the kitchen island and we had to open the drawers to clamp the microphones on. So that's the situation. So we had curling today, and when I say we, I mean my daughter had curling today, and usually I like to bring a book and read something while I'm there. Obviously I brought Rebel Witch, and I also listened to a few chapters of the audiobook at work. So I made some good progress today. I'm on page 90, so I would just say the first 100 pages. Usually you can get a good grasp if you like a book or not based off of like the first 100 pages. Here are my thoughts, and I again will not spoil the book, so don't worry, you don't have to like click away because I'm going to talk about the book. My thoughts are, it started off really strong. You jumped right into the action. There was no like catch up period, like the time between the last book and this book. It feels like it's just kind of like it was a few days maybe went by, maybe a few months, I guess. So the action picked up right away in the beginning, and now it's kind of fell a little flat. And I say that because it's really redundant. It's giving Once Upon a Broken Heart. If you were with me during that series, you know that I rated Once Upon a Broken Heart really lowly. And then by the time I was done with the series, I rated it really highly, and I was obsessed with the characters. But with this one, I was really obsessed with the first book, and now I'm kind of having trouble with this one. And I don't know if it's Kristen's writing style, or I'm further along in my reading journey than I was when I read Heartless Hunter. So I'm wondering if my taste has kind of evolved since reading the first book. When I say it's really repetitive, I just mean they keep reinstating kind of the same thoughts. And I'm like, I'm rolling my eyes like, I know that's what you feel. And I know that's what she feels. Can we like get to the meat, right? And I don't like feeling that way because I don't want to be annoyed by the book. I want to enjoy it. The story is progressing at a pretty good pace. Also, there's this weird vibe of like mastermind, like schemey scheme, like they don't know that I know, that you don't know, that what I'm gonna do, that you're gonna do, and that I know. And like it kind of feels juvenile. I'm really hoping that this is just kind of the slow start to the book, and that it will pick up and things will get a little more interesting. It's grabbing me by like a thread. Like I'm not completely disappointed. I'm not completely like out of the story yet. I'm really have high hopes for it, but the first 100 pages were just kind of like meh, and I'm hoping that as the story progresses, it'll get more exciting. If you see a spot on my crew neck, no you didn't. I ate dinner and of course it got all over me. So that's just who we are. So I have not read since we got to page 90. Last night was tough. I came home, we did our evening stuff, and then I think everything just like caught up with me. I felt really, really tired. I laid down around 8 o'clock and I watched some TV just to like decompress and relax. And I had my book by me, like it was laying with me. But then I just got so tired that I opted for sleep instead. So we got a kitten about 3 weeks ago, and she's very active at night. Around 5 a.m. every morning, she wakes up and she's meowing and she's trying to cuddle and she's booping our faces and, wanting love and attention. Haven't been sleeping as solid as I used to, and I think that's starting to wear on me. So yeah, I went right to bed last night around 9 o'clock and I didn't read anything last night. So here we are. It is 6:48 p.m. and we're gonna go hard. And I'm not gonna stop reading until I want to say until I get to 50%, but like, I don't know, maybe we can. That'll be the golden night, 50%. I'm not sure what page that is, but 50%. Past acknowledgements, 455. So what's half of 455? So we need to get to page 227 to reach 50%. I don't know, page 90. Over 100 pages to read. We'll see. Also, I do need to correct myself. It's Cressida. I don't know what the hell I was saying the other day. Cressida? It's Cressida. Thank you, audiobook. My household is being loud. I think I need my brown noise. I just need to Google real quickly. What is gird his loins? Gird his loins. Let me see. So what does the internet say? Gird is a verb that means to encircle or fasten with a belt or cord. He would have to gird his loins. Okay. Okay. So I just got to the 50% mark. of Rebel Witch. I got to page 229, which is chapter 35. I know what I said when I first started reading the book, but now I'm invested. The story has gained some momentum. The plot has thickened. Things are happening. I'm here for it. It may be more simple of a story compared to some of our other fantasies like Sanderson and Moss and Yaros, but look at these tabs. See these tabs? Things are happening, and I'm just enjoying the book. I'm not really looking for things to highlight. These are things that are just kind of popping up and happening. There's a lot of moments where I'm like, oh, what's going on? There's some moments where I'm like, is this going to turn into something? There are a lot of moments where I'm kind of obsessed with Gideon. So this book is kind of, my cat. Sorry if you hear bells. That's my cat. Come here, Mira. This book is kind of turning out how Heartless Hunter did. I didn't know what to expect going into it. The beginning was a little bit of a slow start, but now I'm at 50% and I'm invested and I'm really interested in what's going on. I do have whiplash from, being thrown back and forth from you're lying, you're not lying, you're lying, you're not lying, are you lying? How do I know? How do I trust you? Hopefully that's not a spoiler. But I'm getting a little bit of whiplash, and I'm glad that has kind of subsided a little, and there's more to the story than just calling each other liars. Gideon is, being his broody self. That's exciting. We love a broody MMC. Mira would like to say something. Mira, what do you think of Rebel Witch? That's what she thinks. She's been my little reading buddy through most of this book. She's also been a distraction. She keeps trying to lay on my chest, and she blocks my book and puts her butt in my face, and she brings her toys up to me and wants me to do something with them. I'm not quite sure what she wants me to do with them yet. I don't know if she's asking for me to play fetch or if she's bringing me her prized possessions and she wants me to cherish them. I'm still learning. We've only had her for 3 weeks, but yeah, she's been my reading buddy, and we've been having fun. I'm so happy that I got to 50%. That's where I wanted to get to tonight because I knew I wasn't dedicating the amount of time that I should be to this book. So really happy to be at 50%. I would say the book is, classic fantasy, 50%. The story picks up and things happen, and I'm happy about that. We'll see what the book has in store for us. I'm hoping to continue this pace tomorrow, and then maybe we'll be done by Thursday. So we'll have the book done in a little under a week. If you guys don't know me, I do have a full-time job. I do work 8:30 to 5 p.m. every day, Monday through Friday. And I do have a daughter, and I do have a husband, and I do have a family and a house and a cat now. So we're out here just trying to read when we have time. I did ask the family tonight if I could have a dedicated night of reading, and I'm not wearing my watch, but we got to 10:22 at 50%. So I would say that's a win, and we'll see what tomorrow brings. So for now, good night. See you tomorrow. Good day. Oh, here comes the cat. She hears me talking to the camera. It is Wednesday, and let me just tell you, it was a Wednesday. The Wednesday from Satan's butthole. Why do I say this? I don't know. I had a good day at work. I didn't do it wasn't stressful. I wasn't straining my brain. I was just doing some project planning. But then I had a dentist appointment. It was in the way back of my mouth and he was really just stretching and pulling and I was so uncomfortable. I already have a very sensitive mouth due to my jaw surgery back in high school. So it's sore and I had to take ibuprofen and thank the ancients for modern medicine because the ibuprofen took it right away. Okay, but I'm in bed now. It is finally almost 9 o'clock. I'm finally ready to start reading. We are approximately 70% of the way through Rebel Witch. Let me catch you up. I read a little bit at work. And then while I was working, I listened a lot to the audiobook. And I'm actually really glad I did that. The narrator is fabulous. She does a great job. Also, I made progress through the book while at work, it was great. I got through a good chunk of it and I'm really actually excited to be 70% of the way through. That means we are on track to finish it probably tomorrow. And tomorrow's going to be a reading sprint stream day. If you didn't know, I enjoy doing reading sprints on this channel. Sometimes they're live on Twitch and sometimes they're just pre-recorded and I share them with you. So make sure you subscribe or follow for more reading sprints because I do enjoy them. I like the focus time. It's good to, head down, tunnel vision. This is what I'm doing for a set amount of time. It's great for the brain goblins, that's for sure. We like to keep them on a schedule. I'm in bed and I'm going to read. We'll see how far I get tonight. I am very tired. I woke up this morning already thinking about the sleep I was going to get tonight. So that's where we're at. We'll see how far we get. Also, before I get too ahead of myself, got the snack of choice, graham crackers. Because it hurts to chew, so mushy is good. Got the book of choice, Rebel Witch. I got the drink of choice, caffeine-free diet Pepsi with the straw. Insert sucking noise. That sounded weird. So let's get into it. You spin my head right round, right round. Oh, they're crummy. So I just reached chapter 60. Oh, what the fuck? Okay, things are serious. Things are serious, and it's scary. This is my reaction without spoilers. What? If you've read this book, don't tell me how it ends. But if you've read this book, you know what's gonna happen. And I don't. I'm 75% of the way through. I actually had listened to way more of the audiobook than I thought I had did. So I reread some stuff, but that's okay. You know what? There's nothing wrong with a little recap, a little refresher. Something serious just happened and now I'm at a point where it's either I read the rest of it and finish it right this minute, or I stop here and I finish it tomorrow. It is almost 10 p.m. I should probably just throw in the towel and relax for the rest of the night. But I really wasn't done reading. I really did want to keep going. It does look like there's a lot left though still. How many pages did I say this was? 450? 455? We're at 345, so we're almost to the 100 pages left. Maybe one more chapter? What do you guys think? What should I do? I don't know what to do. I wish you were here. I wish you could tell me what to do. I think I'm going to throw in the towel. I'm going to close the book for the night. I'm going to save the rest for tomorrow. And I'm just going to watch some bookish videos. I'm going to watch other people read. There's nothing more relaxing than watching other people read. And I guess I could start planning my next read. I could start thinking about what I want to read next. It's going to be something fantasy. It's either going to be Blood Marked from the Legendborn cycle. It's going to be Throne of the Fallen, or it's going to be... I should really start that Samantha Shannon book. But it's probably going to be Blood Marked. Especially because Oathbound, I think that's the third book of the Legendborn cycle, that comes out in less than a week. Am I going to buy it? Probably. so I could always prepare for that release. God, 2025 is a year of good releases. January, we had Onyx Storm. February, we're having Rebel Witch. And now March is going to be Oathbound. What a year. Now I'm going to have to find something for April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. I do think we're supposed to get a Brimstone. We're supposed to get a second Quicksilver book by 𝖘𝖈𝖎𝖆. Maybe this year. I thought that she said fall. We'll see. Okay, good night. I'm gonna have to stop here. I can't keep going. That's the decision. That is the decision I have made, and I am not changing my mind. My cat's in the bathtub. I gotta go. Bye. Hello. Welcome to the street. Hope you guys had a good Thursday. Guys, we're finishing Rebel Witch today. I'm actually so excited. I stopped at a really pivotal point last night, and I saved the rest for stream. Okay, we're gonna do our first sprint. We have to get this started. I need to finish this book tonight. So I'll see you guys in 20 minutes, okay? Here is your warning now. If you have not read this book, if you have not read Rebel Witch yet and you plan to, now is your chance to mute the stream or leave. Because during this break, I will be talking about Rebel Witch. So I will give you time to mute or leave. And then I'm just going to talk about what I read. All right. So here are my thoughts. I just finished chapter 62. And here are things that I've learned. Harrow and Juniper. Antonio and Bart. I'm glad Rune is using more magic. One of my gripes that I had taken notes about was how I hated that she's a witch and she only used like 3 spells. I think we're up to like, maybe she's used like 6 now. I've lost track, but I'm glad she's using more because she's a witch. So show me how you witch. It's all about hunting witches and it's all about running away from the hunters. But like there's not a lot of witchy things happening. So I'm glad that they put more into it. What else? What other thoughts do I have? The pivotal moment of Juniper and Harrow. It appears that Gideon and Rune are starting to form their own little army, and it sounds like they're the third option. So Rune talks about there being 2 possible options, and Gideon's like, no, wait, there's a third, you're just not considering it. So I'm predicting that Rune is going to start leading this like rebellion against Cressida and against the guard. Those are my thoughts. I am only like 79% of the way through, so hopefully we can fly through the last 20%. I don't want to read this another day. I mean, I like the book, but I'd like to finish it today because I have books coming tomorrow. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Enjoying the book. I'm glad I bought it. I'm glad it's a duology. This is the last book for this series. Hopefully it's wrapped up in a nice little bow and I won't cry again, because the first book I cried a lot, and I cried 2 times. I read Heartless Hunter the first time and I cried, and then I read it the last few chapters again before this book came and I cried again. So hopefully there's no crying in this book because I don't know if I can handle it. Okay, 20 more minutes. Let's do this. I'm so annoyed. This book is just full of getting caught, getting trapped, getting let loose, getting freed, getting trapped. So Rune is running away because she won't stay with Gideon. And Gideon went to make sure she got on the train safely. And this witch that he's never seen before recognized him and caught him and said, I've got orders to bring you in. So now Gideon's gonna be trapped and Rune's gonna be on a train out of town. Oh, why? It's so frustrating. They can't stop getting caught. They're the worst fugitives ever. We're making good time though. We're 85%. I'm not fully understanding. She got Gideon. She got a little crew of sympathizers. They've got a solid plan of like trying to stand up. So like she's just scared. Like that doesn't feel deep enough to be like, I'm scared. I'm just gonna go run away because I'm scared. Like I get it. She got like beat by Cressida. But like if Gideon is begging you to stay and he's promising you like a third option and there's people backing you up, I feel like the odds would be good, right? What's my prediction? So obviously Gideon is gonna be caught by Cressida and Rune is either gonna like see through her like window seat or somehow have a vision, because she can have visions now. She's gonna have like a vision of him getting trapped and she's gonna be like, I have to save him. And so she's gonna like get off the train, or somehow they're gonna know Gideon was caught, like those people back at the house. So I'm wondering if like Seraphine or Juniper are gonna like know somehow and they're gonna go for Gideon, or like somebody's gonna be on the train with Rune and they're gonna like take Rune in, so then Rune and Gideon will both be like trapped again. I don't know. I'm leaning towards the vision. That's my prediction. She's gonna have some sort of vision and like either get off the train or like get off at the next stop and like come back or something, or ride. Like her horse is gone, so I don't know what that's all about, but that's probably my prediction. All right, our break's over, so we are going to read again for another 20 minutes, and if we stay on track and stay on time, we'll have time to talk about it afterwards. All right, I'm gonna go silent for 20 minutes. See you guys in 20. More pages left, and I cannot, like, I have to finish it tonight. They just found Layla in the cellar of the Wintersea house, mansion, castle, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. So obviously back when Rune had the vision of the kids and Gideon, like it was really obvious, right? Like those were going to be Gideon's kids. And it was really obvious because she's like, I didn't see me anywhere. It was because it was her vision and she was looking through her eyes. So that twist was expected when she's like, I realized like those were my kids and I want your kids and I want 3 kids or whatever. That I wasn't surprised by that. I thought it was going to go in a different direction when she said that she realized like she had the features of 3 other people that she knew. I didn't even think of the kids. But then, yeah, that was a little bit of a letdown. And then when it was explaining that she got off the train, I thought it was saying that she had a vision and I thought that I was right. But then in reality, no, she just looked through the window and saw Gideon there with a gun pointed to his back or shoulders or whatever. So she got off. So that was, I feel like there were some opportunities there that weren't taken. That's a little disappointing. The train scene was I do forget that this is a young adult book though, so it's not going to be anything too crazy. I think it's cute that like she made him agree to like marrying her and having kids. That was kind of cute. I know better that some shit's gonna go down now because we have like the happy feels. Yeah, the twists are too obvious. You're right. This will not This will not be a 5-star for me. Now that I have a few 5 stars under my belt, I know what a 5-star can be. You really know when this is not one, right? And you can usually tell earlier on, like I don't have to get to 90% to realize it's not going to be 5-star. I like the short little chapters though. That really helps a book make it feel going by faster. This book though is making me miss some like really good fantasy books like the Throne of Glass series. All right, let's go for the last 9%, okay? Good luck. We're done. I did it. We did it. I'm done. Woo! So I lost it there for a second. Again, if you do not want this book to be spoiled, leave now. Or mute me at least. I will wave when I'm done. Okay, the book did me in. I did lose it there for 1 second. Did have to wipe a few tears. But that was about it. I realized early on in the chapter where, Rune was saying goodbye, I realized early on that Cressida could be sacrificed. The part where that her body went limp, I caught on to the ending there. I love the fact that the Gideon was protected. Cried at the part where she recalled Antonio's words. That was so sad. Yeah. 4 stars. Good book. Enjoyed it. Rounded out nicely. The ending tied up in a nice neat little bow. Glad that I read it. I can agree with the twists being a little predictable. Also, the ending's not as drawn out as some of our other fantasy books. It was like 1-2 chapters was the ending. Whereas like in Fourth Wing, it's the last 30% is the ending. Had a good time. Yeah, no, it's a good book. I cried and then I was happy when the way it ended, and then laughed a little in the epilogue. Okay, well, I have finished that book. We are done. It is complete. I'll see you around. Thank you so much for supporting me and letting me cry during this book. You guys, next time. Here it is a few days later, and I've had time to think about kind of my review for Rebel Witch. I did rate it a 4 stars, and here's why. First of all, I think I'm really generous with 4 stars. I think there's a lot of other readers that are pretty ruthless when it comes to 4s, and they don't hand them out as much as I do. But I feel like if I have a good time and I don't have like serious concerns about a book, I'll rate it a 4. Obviously, I have my favorites, books that I can't put down, books that I can't stop talking about, and those are always going to be a 5. But for this one, I gave it a 4. I didn't think it was bad. Again, I had a great time reading it. It was really fun. I looked forward to reading the next few chapters, and I enjoyed following Rune and Gideon's journey. The reason that it's not a 5 is because I just wasn't obsessed with the book. There were parts that felt really repetitive, and I had the same problem with Once Upon a Broken Heart. I don't know if it's the whimsical feeling or an author's strategy for reminding you of why things are the way that they are in the plot, but I didn't need to be reminded every 2 seconds Rune and Gideon's feelings. It was established in the beginning, and I just thought it was repetitive. It felt like filler information. Also, the twists. Now, I've read some great 5-star fantasy books where the twists were unpredictable. They happened throughout the story and not just at the end. And they really triggered like an emotional reaction from me. And this one didn't really do that. I wasn't too invested in the twists in the plot. They were a little predictable. I could see them coming, not from the beginning, but as the story progressed, I could kind of predict how the story was going to go. And that also kind of hurts the rating for me. If it's predictable, then is it really fun, you know? I understand that this is YA and maybe I'm being too harsh with it, but it did read a little YA. Some of the situations in the banter did seem a little juvenile. Again, take that with a grain of salt. This is YA, and if that's your thing, then enjoy. Also, the ending was a little fast. Throughout the book, there were obviously little situations that were arising that Rune and Gideon had to navigate and kind of figure out. And obviously the antagonist was pretty prevalent throughout the whole story. But the ending went really fast, and I think it was probably the last 80% or 90% when the ending started actually happening. And, you know, for lack of a better term, shit hit the fan. Now, again, comparing it to other fantasy books, there have been many of books where it doesn't feel drawn out, but the ending does span across a good chunk of the book. And I think that's because there's a lot of depth within those situations, and there's a lot of depth within the ending and the problems that are arising. And I think that I wish that Kristen would have taken that route here. I did really like the ending from Heartless Hunter better than this ending, but let's not downplay it. I did cry in both endings, so there were some emotions there, but it just was really quick in this one. Again, don't take that too harshly. I did enjoy the book. It was a good time. I'm glad that I own it. I'm glad that I have it. I'm glad that I read it. And I'm glad that it was a duology and it's just, you know, kind of wrapped up and done. Would I recommend this book to people? I would recommend this book to people if they're into YA fantasy. It's not really a romantasy. There's only a couple scenes because they're YA. They're not too spicy. So I would definitely recommend this. It's a good universal fantasy book and definitely more of a YA read. This is an enemies to lovers trope, so if that's your thing, definitely pick this book up. Read Heartless Hunter, read Rebel Witch, and enjoy. This duology was my first witchy series, and I'm highly intrigued in the magic system and kind of that topic, and I would love to explore more fantasies with, you know, kind of witches and those types of themes. Thanks again, guys, for joining me along this journey. Reading Rebel Witch, I always love doing these videos, and if you enjoy these videos too, please make sure you subscribe and give a thumbs up so that I know what you guys want to see. I can't wait to do this again with another book. What will it be? I don't know. We'll see.